We have a surprising Cowboys trade incoming as an NFL insider just revealed some major details on Micah Parsons going to the Packers. We give you the latest details right here on Cowboys Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. An interesting time to be a Cowboys fan, to say the least. Obviously, with Micah Parsons' contract talks going nowhere, we were kind of just sitting on our hands and waiting. And while there were reports out there saying that an offer had not been put on the table just yet, it seems like we have our first, and it comes from the Green Bay Packers. Now, we start from an article of Athlon Sports in which the headline was this: Cowboys Micah Parsons trade off from Packers is, quote, on the table, end quote, per rumor. Now, we start off by saying this. There is no official media source out there saying that the table is 100% on the table. However, there is a bunch of high-level sources out there saying this is true, and it has gotten the media talking enough to where this is a big story. And so, obviously, people have gotten talking about what a trade would look like, and so much more. Now, I do want to start with why in the world this is happening, and it really just boils down to the Cowboys once again being inadequate in their contract discussions. Quote, the Green Bay Packers have a serious trade offer on the table for the disgruntled Parsons, who, as a reaction to Dallas's slow-moving non-negotiations toward a new contract extension, has publicly asked for a trade and has called out the Dallas front office, end quote. And this is both true. He has asked for the trade, obviously. He has called out the front office. And most recently, he talked to the media and, well, they asked him, what's going on with the contract negotiations? What's happening? And I didn't exactly like what he had to say. It was literally like 4 words. My mouth is closed. We are still trying to get him under contract. That is still the goal. And yet we sit here today, and Micah Parsons seems to have no interest in talking about contracts with the Dallas Cowboys. Which, I mean, I'm not going to say he's wrong when over the past 3 seasons he's been trying to talk contracts, and guess what? Jerry Jones said, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Let's raise his price because, of course, we want to pay Micah more when he wants to take less. Whatever. Let's talk about the trade on the table not on the table, but some rumored trades out there. Here is the most notable one. Packers would get edge rusher Micah Parsons. The Cowboys, in return, would get Rashan Gary, a 2026 first-round pick, a 2027 second-round pick, and a 2026 third-round pick. Personally, this is not enough for me to trade Micah Parsons, but let's talk about the trade and go through it a little bit here. We start with Rashan Gary. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He was a very good NFL player. In fact, he was a Pro Bowler last year, I'm pretty sure. 7.5 sacks over 17 games, had 26 solo tackles, 9 tackles for loss, a forced and a recovered fumble, 15 QB hits. This guy is a very good edge rusher. And in the trade, the Cowboys are getting him and 3 other picks, one of those being a first rounder. But he's not Micah Parsons. And I know it's hard to compare. Micah Parsons is a freak amongst men. 12 sacks in just 13 games last year while being injured for part of it, 23 QB hits, 2 forced fumbles, and 12 tackles for loss. Micah Parsons is by far the better player. I'm not trying to sit here and say that, Rashan Gary is even close to Micah Parsons. In fact, I'm probably saying the opposite. It frustrates me because a first-round pick is great. And, Micah was a first-round pick. What's to say you don't get another guy like him? I'm not, discounting the return package back. But if you have a generational talent in Micah Parsons, the options are this. You pay him what he has been asking for, and now you pay him more because you have literally done the wrong things and made him frustrated, which rightfully so, or you have to get a bag and a half for him. And there will be teams out there, if a trade is starting to, pick up more and more steam, that will offer a little bit more in that. That being said, this is what we have for now. We talk about Rashan Gary here. Mike Luciano of Fansided saying, quote, it doesn't take a savant of football knowledge to illustrate how a player with Parsons' pedigree and physical traits playing at the top of his game is going to have a game-changing impact on the Packers' defense as a whole. That pass rush immediately goes from a weakness to a strength, end quote. And this is true. The Packers would have a very good reason to put an offer out there. That's why it makes sense that this is gaining steam. It makes sense that this is a rumor out there because it probably happened. The more you look at this, the more the puzzle pieces start to fit. It seems like the Packers said, hey, what do you want? What can we offer you? Here's what we got. Now, again, we don't have an official trade offer out there as to what was it and all that stuff, but it's out there. Now, Mike Luciano also talked about Gary, and he said, quote, Dallas, meanwhile, would get a player in Gary that could help mitigate the loss of Parsons while freeing up more playing time for standout rookie Donovan Ezeraku. The Cowboys would have more ammo to begin a proper rebuild, as Will McClay could put those picks to good use, end quote. I'm sorry. Proper rebuild and trading for George Pickens are two words that I did not think would be, or two statements that would not be true. If you can't get a deal done with Micah Parsons and you go into rebuild mode, I don't know if the Cowboys will ever recover. It just is infuriating when you see this stuff out there. And there is a lot of people saying a contract will get done, not to worry. And I do believe a contract will get done, but I'm still worrying because I'm not 100% sure. And if I'm not even 80% sure, I'm worried because there's still a 20-30% shot that Micah Parsons is not a Cowboy. And if he is closing his mouth to contract talks, what's to say a holdout isn't next? What's to say when week 1 comes around, he says, you said I was injured all last year. It wasn't that valuable. I'm injured. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. I'm injured. It's caught media recognition. It's forcing people like Jordan Schultz, a Fox Sports NFL insider, to literally crap on Jerry Jones. He says, quote, the fact that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys believe they can negotiate a 9-figure extension with Micah Parsons without involving his agent says everything about the current state of the franchise. This entire situation is laughable from the Dallas side. It could have and should have been avoided. But instead, the Cowboys operated with pure arrogance, foolishness, and stubbornness. End quote. This is an NFL insider in Jordan Schultz, and one of the most reputable sources across the NFL media landscape. He has been time and time again professional on a lot of occasions, but you have forced his hand to come out here and literally call out the organization for its inadequacies. I don't know how many of these videos I'm going to have to make to get the point across. This is not a big deal in terms of just Micah Parsons. It is a bigger deal when you include the landscape of the NFL and how you are going to be viewed. From a GM perspective, from a player perspective, free agent perspective. Are they going to want to deal with Jerry Jones? I don't want to deal with them, and I have to. What if somebody who doesn't have to? He has the choice to not have to do that. You're going to have to pay bag after bag after bag to get people to stay here. What happens next year with George Pickens? He's going to be a free agent. Are you going to go through this whole contract negotiating with him? Is he going to even want to try and stay here? The point I'm trying to make is this. Green Bay Packers have the offer out there. That's something to note. But the bigger problem in all of this is that you have made one of the guys that you hit on. This was a perfect draft pick. Perfect guy, homegrown. And you have turned him into somebody who does not like this franchise. To the point where contracts are on the table. Lots of money is on the table. And what does he want to talk about? Nothing. My mouth is closed. My mouth is about to be closed with the way this is going. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Am I being a little bit over-exaggerating this entire situation? Do you believe a Packers trade would be a good thing for the Cowboys? Would it be the best value? Again, he's a big-time player. A first, second, and third plus a player is a good package, but it's just hard when I just value Micah Parsons so much that I almost expect 2 firsts. Like if that second or third was a first and you had a Rashan Gary, I'd probably be a little bit better about saying, yeah, let's do it. That's a decent trade. But I need another first for this guy. I mean, he's 26 years old. He's a prime-time guy. Literally one of, if not the best defensive players in the entire league. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. We've got plenty of videos coming your way, so make sure you hit that subscribe button for all the latest on your Dallas Cowboys. And for now, we'll see you next time here on Cowboys Digest, guys. Peace out.